My name is Rob Little. I'm the principal of Pythias. We work with state and local governments to accelerate the business attraction process. In this video, we're going to look at megatrends and market opportunities at both the global and national levels. This is critical if you're seeking to build enduring social and economic benefits through business attraction for your community. We're going to split this up into three sections. Firstly, we're going to look at the global megatrends at a high level. Then we're going to put some numbers around that. And then we're going to look at some examples of some sectors that you could focus on to take advantage of the opportunities. So let's start by looking at global megatrends at a high level. The global decarbonisation and energy transition megatrend has been driven by international agreements, government policies, and an increase in corporate and consumer demand for more sustainable energy sources. This megatrend is also driving demand for critical minerals. The second megatrend to note is that the growing global population is driving increased demand for food. Changing consumer preferences are driving increased demand for healthier, more sustainable, and higher value food products. The third megatrend to note is that the ageing population is driving increased demand for more innovative healthcare solutions. This megatrend is also driving demand for products such as medicinal cannabis. The fourth megatrend to note is that growing global geopolitical instability is increasing the defence budgets of countries globally. A separate but related global megatrend is that governments are becoming more involved in society and the economy. A fifth megatrend is the ongoing digital transformation and technological disruption that has been driven by rapid advancements in computing power, connectivity, and software. This megatrend is also driving changes in advanced manufacturing, especially when it's combined with automation, advanced materials, and new manufacturing processes. The final megatrend to note is that businesses and supply chains are still operating globally, despite tariffs in some areas. This continues to drive demand for professional services, advanced financial networks, or advanced financial markets, and seamless logistics, warehousing, and last-mile delivery services. So what does this mean in terms of actual numbers? Let's have a look at this from a sector perspective over the next two slides. And in this video, we're going to look at Australia. According to the Australian Energy Market Operator, Australia will require an additional 125 gigawatts of wind and solar generation by 2050, with a significant proportion of this delivered by 2030. For context, the size of the existing market is 65 gigawatts. The operator also requires a 16-fold increase in storage capacity and the construction of over 10,000 kilometres of transmission lines. The expected total cost is $122 billion in present-day terms out of 2050, although some estimates are up to 5 times this amount. This megatrend is also driving global demand for critical minerals, with the International Energy Agency expecting a 4 to 6 times increase in demand for lithium, cobalt, and nickel by 2040. Correspondingly, the Australian critical minerals export sector is expected to increase from $7 billion now to $70 billion by 2040. The global population growth megatrend is driving demand for Australian food, and the Australian Food and Grocery Council aims to increase the size of the sector from $166 billion now to $250 billion by 2030. The ageing population megatrend is driving growth in the Australian medtech sector from $13 billion now to $21.5 billion by 2030, and the Australian pharmaceutical manufacturing sector from $38 billion now to $48 billion by 2033. The size of the global medicinal cannabis market is expected to increase from $22 billion now to anywhere between $80 and $327 billion by 2035. The Australian defence budget is expected to increase from $56 billion to $100 billion by 2034, and that figure for government spending is at the federal level only. The digital transformation megatrend is expected to drive growth in the size of the Australian artificial intelligence sector from $9 billion now to $43 billion by 2034, and the Australian cybersecurity sector from $10 billion now to $31 billion by 2032. And you can see the size of the advanced manufacturing sector there. The globalisation megatrend is expected to drive continued growth in the Australian financial services, professional services, and logistics sectors, and you can see the projected size and share size of those sectors there. So in the last section, we're going to look at some examples of some market opportunities that are aligned with the megatrends. Remember that for a company to select your location, they're really seeking to establish a significant and enduring competitive advantage. Important to note that on the next couple of slides, what we're looking at here are whole sectors. And you may choose to focus on a whole sector, or you may choose to break it down and focus on a subset. So, for example, in the battery supply chain, instead of focusing on the whole sector, you may look to focus on attracting facilities that refine and smelt the critical minerals that are contained within the battery active materials. Or you may look to attract a facility that manufactures the battery cells, or assembles the battery cells, or recycles the battery cells. Similarly, in defence, you may look to focus on a particular domain like land, air, or sea, or you may look to focus on high tech, so electronic warfare, or cyber, or space. So you could look to focus on attracting facilities or new operations in manufacturing or tech, in services or energy. You could look to establish a hub or a precinct which is focused on a particular sector. Or you could look to focus on attracting the high-wage, high-value jobs that are associated with research and development facilities. These two opportunities didn't fit neatly within any of the categories above, but are worth mentioning. So you could look to focus on attracting medicinal cannabis cultivation and processing facilities. Look to focus on attracting government departments. An additional point to note is that all of the sectors we've just discussed are supported to some extent by the state and federal governments. For example, Austrade are focused on all of the sectors above for investment attraction into Australia, apart from logistics and government departments. And there are also a range of programs that provide financial assistance at the state and federal levels that are designed to help grow the Australian economy. And on the screen here are a range of examples from the federal level. And just to finalise this presentation, just as businesses need to understand and leverage market opportunities and trends, you will have greater success with your business attraction if you understand and leverage the right megatrends. If you have any questions about this presentation, feel free to get in touch. Assess your location's readiness to attract new businesses with our free Investment Attraction Ready scorecard located on our website. By answering 20 questions, you can benchmark your existing processes, tools, and strategies in under 3 minutes. And check out our website for free tools, templates, and videos, as well as our paid services for select partners. Let's work together to accelerate business attraction.